Hi, I'm Pharaoh, and today you find me at an autophage camp. And this is because yesterday I was streaming my search for an S-class staff, and a few things kept confusing me, and confusing other people watching too, in that there didn't seem to be a complete pattern. I was throwing bits into the staff assembly, and I was getting different results. Now, it slowly dawned on me and a few other people coincidentally around the internet that if you look at the staff and we see this particular staff with these particular parts in this particular color variation, if we then, for instance, take the radiant chamber out of our combo and then put it back in again, it changes color and it has a different name and it has a different layout, everything you'd expect with the seed being different, and yet all the parts are the same. So that seemed like, okay, well, there are two. We just have to switch out one of these parts. But it gets more complicated than that. Here are a few different multi-tools that I managed to spawn in exactly the same spot with exactly the same parts. And I think this just scratches the surface. I don't think we need to travel around at all. If we find a promising cabinet, I think we can just sit there and try lots of different combinations. So how am I achieving this? Well, first of all, you will notice here that I've got nothing else in my inventory apart from the radiant parts. I've got lots of things here in my inventory on my ship, but I've also got another ship stashed nearby. And if I now go into that ship, I've just got all of my parts I keep in here, like charts and stuff. None of those other parts. So it's a completely different inventory combination in my starship now. And when I go into staff assembly and do exactly the same thing, and I have chosen a very specific route, always building all three, looking at it, closing, taking out the middle one, putting it back in again. Now I get a different combination, different colors, different name, different layout. Obviously it's using a different seed. And so the secret is it's all about what's in your inventory. Now exactly which parts matter is really up for debate at the moment. If I go into my ship and I say, for instance, put the echo seeds in here, if I then jump into my other ship, there's our familiar red and yellow. Take this out, put it back in, blue and purple, different multi-tool. I like that one, blue and dissonant. Now, a big shout out to Gravnaut, who was helping me work this out. And as I got to the point where I was completely frustrated with the whole thing and decided that, oh, it looks like it's inventory, that's a whole other can of worms, I threw my hands up and left it for a few hours while he continued to experiment and demonstrate that it was indeed the inventory. What it means is we don't have to travel around if we find a promising cabinet. What exactly counts in the inventory and what doesn't is up for grabs. Which inventories actually count and which inventories don't is also up for grabs. Do tech inventories count? Do inventories on freighters count? Do inventories on freighters count when they're in the system and have containers? There are lots of other variables that we could potentially iron out as we go along. But I think the key to remember is that it's probably going to be different for everybody. Nobody's going to have exactly the same inventory combination. And so we're going to get normal multi-tools And we're also going to get inventory generated multi-tools if we follow that process of taking the middle one out and putting it back in. And that may encourage us to not search everywhere, but to just stick at a promising terminal and plug away and see what we can find. So that's it. I've been Pharaoh. Thanks for watching. Travel well, and goodbye for now. Goodbye.